Alright, before we start, let me be very clear. Full spoiler warning for the Stranger Things series finale. If you haven't watched the final episode yet, this is your last chance to click away. Because Stranger Things didn't just end, it ended with massive reveals, emotional goodbyes, and one final twist that will divide fans for years. So let's break down the 10 biggest spoilers and reveals from the series finale titled The Rightside Up. 1. The final battle ends Vecna for real. The finale delivers what the show has been building towards since season 1, the final fight against Vecna. The party finally unites, guns, fire, powers, and pure desperation as Eleven reaches the abyss to confront Vecna inside the Mind Flayer itself. With Will tapping into the hive mind and weakening Vecna, Eleven is able to overpower him, and then, Joyce finishes it, brutally and definitively. Vecna is dead. The Mind Flayer is destroyed. The Upside Down collapses. 2. Eleven's fate is left complicated. Here's where things get emotional. After one last D&D game, Mike shares what he believes happened to Eleven. He thinks Kali created an illusion at the gate, making it look like Eleven died, while the real Eleven escaped unnoticed. Is it confirmed? Not directly, but the epilogue shows Eleven hiking alone among waterfalls, in what looks like Iceland, peaceful, free, and finally at rest. Eleven's ending is hopeful, but intentionally ambiguous. 3. Kali dies, so Eleven can live. Kali's story ends tragically. She helps Eleven fake her death, but remains behind in the Upside Down when the bomb destroys the bridge. Hopper believes Kali died earlier, but the truth is harsher. Kali sacrifices herself so Eleven can disappear forever. 4. Henry Creel's powers finally explained. One of the finale's biggest reveals answers a long-standing mystery. How did Henry Creel get his powers? The answer: the cave. As a child, Henry finds a glowing rock inside a briefcase. The particles enter his body through a gunshot wound, connecting him to the Mind Flayer. Henry claims later that he and the Mind Flayer are one. The villain was never just created, he was chosen. 5. Holly and the other kids are saved. Once Vecna is defeated, the party rescues Holly and the other kids. Nancy frees Holly from the vines, leading to one of the sweetest reunions in the episode. The military eventually leaves Hawkins, and the town begins rebuilding after the so-called earthquake. Holly and her friends even take over the basement for a new generation of D&D. 6. The graduation time jump. The timeline jumps 18 months to spring 1989. Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, and Max are graduating high school. Dustin delivers a rebellious valedictorian speech, rips off his robe, and reveals his Hellfire Lives shirt. Classic Dustin. Instead of a party, the group chooses one last D&D game. 7. Hopper proposes to Joyce. Yes, it finally happens. At Enzo's, Hopper proposes to Joyce. She says yes. They plan to move to Montauk, closer to Jonathan and Will, and far away from Hawkins. It's a quiet, earned ending for two people who've suffered more than anyone. 8. The older group faces distance, but not goodbye. Steve stays in Hawkins as a coach and teacher. Robin and Jonathan are in college. Nancy works at the Boston Herald. Life is pulling them apart, so they make a promise: meet once a month in Philly. Growing up doesn't end friendships, it just makes them harder to maintain. 9. The party's future's revealed. Through a D&D-style narration, we learn what's next. Max and Lucas stay together. Dustin continues his studies, but keeps adventuring. Will finds acceptance and love. Mike becomes a writer, the storyteller of the group. It's subtle, but it fits every character perfectly. 10. Yes, Ted Wheeler is alive. After being forgotten for most of Volume 2, Ted Wheeler is confirmed alive. He attends the graduation, complains about Dustin's language, and proves he has changed. Not at all. A perfect Stranger Things joke to end on. So, the Stranger Things finale doesn't give everyone a fairy tale ending, but it gives closure. It respects its characters, embraces growing up, and understands that endings aren't about answers, they're about acceptance. For deep dive breakdowns, character analysis, and spoiler-safe storytelling, subscribe to the channel before Hawkins fades into legend.